Now the Saab engine's going back in the combo. That's a nice engine crane you've got there. Now then, fellow bib and brace enthusiasts, I've got a gift, right? Christmas gift. Deploying it, yeah? Not quite got the adjustment quite right yet, but I think we're in for a good time. As we approach midlife, it's time to embrace, yeah? Good video today, because both MR2 and DC2 content. And I'll even point the camera there if you want, make you feel a little bit better if you're a Bavarian boy, yeah? What am I doing today? I was going to give you a poem, but I couldn't figure it out in my head. Been watching a lot of John Cooper Clarke. If you don't know what that is, I recommend it. Funny stuff, right? I'll think of something. Right, I've prepared a short poem to break us into this video, right? Are you ready? I'm Bib and Braces DC2. I'm here to fill your quota with a video about my old Honda and my old Toyota. They're both from the 90s and brown underneath. When I was young, I fell off my bike and chipped my front teeth. When I'm on track, I try to keep it between the white lines, but I've crashed them both multiple times. At least I'll have my old Japanese cars to keep me going, even if my progress on rebuilding them is not always worth showing. One of them steers from the rear, the other from the front. When I edit my videos, I think, who is that cunt? Might have to edit that bit. Can't swear on the first couple of minutes of YouTube. I'm losing the barn soon, and it makes me quite sad. But at least I've got the bib and braces from me dad. Yeah, do you like that? Got some work to do on my poems and my cars. Anyway, Throttle Body, I was up here the other night, and hang on, let me see if I can get this off. Okay, what have I done already? Well, Yorkshire spec, it has an idle air control valve here, which is this thing. Some emissions stuff, you know, feeds in air, and you know, this is something that I didn't run before, but because I've had to buy another throttle body because I've lost mine. I don't think I sold my old throttle body. You wouldn't just sell a throttle body, would you? Unless I left it on the intake manifold when I sold that. I don't think I did though. I don't know. There's possibly a throttle body in here somewhere, but got another one anyway. And yeah, took the idle air control valve out, and you can get a little plate for these. They're about 20 quid or something. You can get them, and they fit real nice. But I thought I'd make one because I saw that Joe had made one. I thought, oh well, if he can make one, I'll make one. And when I took it off, these are the original screws that go into the throttle body. And I had to drill them out, drill the heads off. But I ended up just tapping the studs that were still in there, rather than trying to remove them, and just put some, I think it was M5 threads, just nut and bolted them on, put some sealant on, and hopefully that'll be all right. I've given it a good suck out of there, and I don't think there's any air leaks. And on the other side, the other thing I've removed is this thing. This is a purge valve, which is again some electronic emissions-y stuff, I think. But when I removed this, I got quite lucky because I didn't have a bung for this. But when I pulled this off, this part here of the tube actually snapped off. So I was able to just put a screw in it. So that's nice, isn't it? Nice, easy fix. I might take it back out and just put some sealant on it just in case. But the screw, it was one of the original screws that held it in. So, you know, it's about 8 mil, 10 mil long or something, maybe even longer. But it's in there good, so I think that'll be all right. I think that comes in here to go into the engines. There, look. Yeah. Now I do need to clean this up because I was filing this as it was in situ, so I've got metal dust all over the shop. But we can get the throttle body on today. That's my goal. Right. I wanted to put some oil in it as well, but I don't know if I'm going to take the engine out again yet. I don't think so. I think the work I need to do on the subframe can be done in situ. But I'll have to make sure all the wires are in the right place, eh? I don't want to do another Joe. I ain't got a spare map sensor laying about. But we also want to make sure anything under here is all good as well. I've got my fan wire in there. Still need to put, I need to get some clips for them. I'll probably just put some R-clips in there or something. There's a bolt missing out of that, but maybe it'll be all right. Yeah, I'd quite like to put a battery to it and crank it with some oil in. just to get some oil sloshing about, because that engine's been sat without oil in it for a long time. And I've tried to keep things covered, but it's pretty damp in here. Over winter especially, it gets really damp. You know, you'll see water appearing on the cars. The underneath of the M3 is not looking too nice, where it's had some stone chips and stuff. Pretty damp in here in this lovely barn that is soon to be expiring. But yeah, I'd like to get the throttle body on at least. Pretty sure it just goes like that. This is an adapter from Hybrid. So we've got a RSP inlet manifold. I've not messed about with it, it's just as it comes. That's all bolted on, all the water hoses and the thermostat, it's all good behind the scenes under there. I need to get another belt because this one's too slack. I need to get a 1325, that's a 1345. That's one that Matt had laying about from his DC5, but yeah, it's just slightly too big. But yeah, throttle body on today, and I think we can just slap this on now. We just need to go and give it a blow over with the airline. Make sure there's no metal dust gonna dive into the engine when we crank it over, if we crank it over. But eventually, obviously, we will need to crank it over. And yeah, I think we're all good. If I can just wiggle that out. Even gave it a little bit of a clean as well. It weren't too bad. This has come off an EP3 that was driven daily for like 20 years. So you can imagine, if you think it looks minging now, just imagine what it looked like before. Yeah. But yeah, she should be good. This idle air control valve, well, there is a little grub screw there that you can see with the yellow paint on it. We can adjust just to put a little bit of throttle on to try and get a better idle, but it does, you know, really help the idle on the standard cars. But yeah, we can get around it. And then, you know, rather than having all them different daft sensors on, we'll just have the map sensor and the throttle position sensor, which is all we need really, isn't it? Racing car, yeah. I've got another gasket for this as well. For some reason it was cheaper to get these thermal adapters, what are they called? I think this is it. Yeah, for some reason it was cheaper to get these kind of, what are they made out of? Plastic in it, some kind of fancy plastic. And yeah, we've got the door to put on the MR2. And good news about the door on the MR2, the one that I went to Joe's for paint has a door plug on it. So, results. And he's even taped it up, look. Professional job. I think I'll do the door first. Get this done. Got my new bumper there as well, but we're not worried about that just yet. But yeah, I'm going to put the door on. I still need to put my aero catchers in, but I think I'm going to buy a fancy die grinder for that. Do you remember when I borrowed one last time? It was a beast, wasn't it? I've got a die grinder, I've got an air die grinder, but the airline's way over there and all the bits I've got for it are rubbish. Yeah, I also need to put the glass in that door, but I think the glass is just inside the MR2. Yeah, it is. The glass and the door cards are there. I did actually inquire about the first race the other day, because I've not renewed my license, so it's so much better, that bonnet, having some rigidity to it. I had inquired about the first race of the season, but I was told it's already oversubscribed, so yeah. I thought it was at a rubbish track. I thought it was at Silverstone National, which I've not raced at before, but you know, I weren't too bothered about racing there, to be honest. Given the current circumstance of things and that. But now it turns out the first race of the season is at Donington Grand Prix, the full Grand Prix track, so that would have been nice, wouldn't it? But never mind. I'm very much looking forward to getting back on track as soon as I can. Hopefully do a test day in the MR2 or something soon, because I'm missing being out on track. Yeah, really missing it. But yeah, get this wing off and then we can put the door on and then jobs are good. How's about this for a rig then? Hey?
Get their act together, that's how it feels to me. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Alfa Romeo can do and a few other teams.
Oh yes. Just going to wiggle the door on now. Can put the glass in afterwards. Need to remove some of the wiring as well, because I only need the wiring for the electric windows. I should probably pull this wiring out as well first, shouldn't I? It'll make my life a bit easier. Poke that through first and then shimmy it on. Well, the wiring for this is a bit of a pain in the arse. Comes in there, runs in the inner wing here, which you can't get to, and then comes out right down there, right where the cage is, right? And that orange plug you can just about see. That's one of them. There's a blue one we have to try and find as well. But yeah, this is a little bit fiddly. Try not to break that glass while I'm here as well. Hey, that'd be a bit of a disaster. Well, nearly there. There we go. Obviously I only need 2 of these wires, I think, just to do the electric motor for the window. Wonder what all they're doing. Speakers, door locks, wing mirrors.
There are now a lot more drivers on the track, but not George Russell or Lewis Hamilton, leaving it a bit longer.
The feeling was that these cars would all look the same under these, with cars that look more different than we've got at the moment. And I mean, the Red Bull's got so many aero pieces underneath it already. And then we're going to
Take a bit of space, trying to find a gap ahead of them before their qualifying lap. That's why you see Magnussen's across the line. Where's he going to put himself second? Splits the 2 Red Bulls in a Haas.
That's tremendous.
Not bad.
Sector hasn't been Mercedes.
2 different bolt sizes going on here. It's like one's M8, one's M10. But they both got red paint on them, so I thought they'll be the same, won't they? Nope. Unfortunately, the door seal off the old door didn't come off quite so nice. I have to get the tiger seal out once it's on the new door. This side's fine. Got the glass on as well.
Everyone's just working together now to fast track that.
Bahrain made its debut on the Formula 1 calendar in 2004. It's a track, and we're on for 6 in a row. Can hold off Leclerc and Verstappen.
Whoops.
Cheers of the crowd.
Bottas is ahead of Russell. Bottas is ahead of George Russell. Crazy. This is all pretty much back together now. I'll just put some more bolts in, get the wing mirror on, then we'll get on with the Integra. I've not been able to do the door wiring, but I'm just going to ignore it for now. Racing machinings. This was a pain in the ass. Yeah, proper fiddly job. That strengthening bar that I cut out the old door, well, it's still on this one, and it's right where them bolts are. Not quite sure the red matches, but close enough. Forza Ferrari. Right, bottle froddy time. That's the old door rubber off the MR2 off the old door. Hey? Right, I'm going to look up the torque specs for this. Get the adapter on, get the bottle froddy onto there, plug some sensors in. Throttle cable, where's that? There it is. Everything's under control. Alright, I found a torque spec, 16 foot-pounds in the Imperials, 22 Newton meters roughly. So I put the adapter plate on, but I had a problem. And let me just find something to show you the problem. Do I have a ruler? Okay, so what's the problem then? Well, if I put my ruler flat up against here, yeah, these are protruding slightly. Protruding, I think that's the right word. They're all torqued up to the right spec, but I noticed it straight away, they're sticking out a little bit. So I was thinking, why is that? Now this kit, the hybrid kit, comes with all the hardware that you need to get the adapter plate on and then the throttle body onto the adapter. So you get new screws for everything, which is nice. Now 4 of the screws are these short ones, 4 of them are these quite longer ones. So it's clearly the short ones we need. Now the kit also came with 4 of these little spring washers. Now AVE fans will know that, you know, these have a questionable use, right? If you listen to that man from Canada anyway. Do these spring washers actually do anything? Well, I figured because they've given us these spring washers in the kit, they must be used between the adapter plate and the inlet manifold, right? Because you can't get to these bolts when the throttle body is on. So clearly that's where you'd put them, right? But apparently not. I think I'm going to have to take the spring washers off, and then I think with the spring washers off, I should be able to come down there flat and not get stuck. Because if I try and mount the throttle body now, the gasket won't seal properly and we'll have the air leaks. But this spring washer is probably, it's quite a big one. But yeah, it's probably like a 2mm thing. So I think that 2mm, if I take the spring washers out now, I think that'll work. But I'll let you know. It just seems weird why it would come with the spring washers, but apparently for the external bolts, which you can get to quite easily. Interesting. So what I'm going to do instead anyway is put some thread locker on. You know, the spring washers are meant to stop things vibrating loose, aren't they? But yeah, questionable whether they actually work or not. The other thing that's interesting, you see I've got my little Allen key set out. That's because this hybrid adapter has these two little bungs here. Now you can take the bungs out and you can put sensors in for vacuum or boost or whatever if you're doing anything like that. Now obviously I'm not doing that, so I'm just going to be nipping the bungs up. The bungs were just loose in the packaging, but it seems to be some kind of freedom units because it's smaller than a 5mm Allen key and it's larger than a 4mm Allen key. And yeah, I don't have any Imperial Allen keys or bits or anything. Now luckily what fits, and fits quite well, is a T30. So T30 Torx bit in there quite nice, and I'm going to be able to nip them up as long as I can get my ratchet in. I'm just going to be tightening it. So yeah, I can get the bungs in with the T30. I'll take these screws out now, the fasteners. I'll take them out and put some thread locker on, take the spring washer off, and then hopefully I'll be able to slide this ruler over and not get caught in anything. So yeah, a bit strange that, but thread locker probably the better method of making sure they don't come out anyway. Before I put this on, I thought I would show you inside there. It's quite a cool inlet manifold, this. I picked it because it's quite good for the K24, especially a one like mine, which is not going silly power or anything, because it's only going to be revving to about 8,000 RPM or something. And the way it works, it's like these are all kind of independent. They've got like little almost trumpets on the end of them. People modify these as well. You'll see these on quite a lot of K24s. So people modify them to well, there's plenty of videos on YouTube, you've probably seen them, about these manifolds, the RSP, but they're quite cool. But yeah, let's get the throttle body on. Well, more problems. Kind of hard to show you as well, but I've got the longer screws in now in these front two. Tell you what, let's go outside where it's a bit more bright. My lights and everything's retiring early. Decided they don't want to work today. Keeps tripping the old fuse, but let's go out here, you might be able to see. Okay, so you can see the screw here, and there's one there just behind that sensor, right? Now this gasket is quite thick, but on this side, with the spring washer, barely a mil or two sticking out the bottom. On this side, without any washer, yeah, there's a good, you know, there's a good 8-10 mil sticking out, which you probably do to stick it on, but yeah, this gasket's a little bit thick, really. I would have just got a paper one, but I think, I don't know, I guess this must have come up on the search when I was looking, rather than the paper one, but yeah. Oi, don't eat that, what are you eating? You're disgusting. Yeah, what I'll probably do is trying to find a really thin MA washer, or maybe not use a washer at all. I mean, they're cap heads, right, so does it really matter? Probably should have a washer. Or if I have some slightly longer bolts that are matching, 4 of them, that'll be ideal. But let's go and see. Come on, you. Don't be eating any of that. Right, as luck would have it, I managed to find some M8 hex heads, all matching, 4 of them, and they're slightly longer. Be a bit more difficult to get on, being a hex, be a 13 I think. You know, lose the luxury of having the internal drive, but that should work. Well, the bottle Froddy is on, but can I do a bit of a dual wield here? Look at that. So the bottle Froddy is on, but the throttle cable doesn't seem to fit. I do get it. I've been trying to figure out what's going on here. Throttle cable is fully open on the pedal side, which also shouldn't it be springing back by itself? Or does this spring it back? Maybe this must spring it back. But I fully extended it here and it's not even starting to tickle the actual butterfly valve. Some thinking to do, but the hex heads weren't too bad in the end. Don't look too close at that mess there. Should I try and smooth it with my finger, or should I just leave? I'll just leave it. I was just going to leave that alone, but I told Mr. Bauer about it, and he says they're going to put some sealant on it. And I thought, maybe I should, but it'll be fine. That, don't worry about it. So yeah, everything's on that I wanted to do. We're just fitting a throttle body really, but been meaning to do that for about 3 months. So that's good. Need to figure out what's going on with the throttle cable. Yeah, no fluids in either of these two cars today. I'm not going to bleed that. I'm not going to put any coolant in this. Unfortunately, I need to leave the Batman signal's up. I know you can't quite see it, but I can sense it. I'm required. So half decent day though. We got some stuff done. Great result for Forza Ferrari in the quali. That Saab running yet? Hey, the lights have come on for the outro. That's nice, isn't it? That's all from today though. I've got a busy couple of weeks coming up with other stuff, especially tomorrow as well, so I don't know if I'll get much time up here, but look at that. A little bit of progress on both of the twos, yeah? On the two twos. The Desmonds. Yeah, Desmonds. Right? Nice little bit of progress. I've got a couple of days off over Easter. I'm going to try and get some track time then. Probably MR2 just to give it a run. But see how it goes. Yeah. Other than that, thank the Patreons. Thank the dog. Looking more like a car again. Step by step, yeah. The Desmonds will rise. Step by step, the Desmonds will rise. I'll see you later. Bye from the bib and the brace.